On December 17th, 1997, one of the most infamous pictures in NBA history was born.
A 26-0 to shout about. Little advice from the master right here.
A 19-year-old Kobe Bryant, who was just starting to break through and emerge as a star of the future, was asking 33-year-old Michael Jordan for some advice in the post, particularly how to feel out a defender when turning around for a fadeaway. Kobe's eagerness to learn and continuously develop his game became a staple in who he was and his legacy as a player. Considering he'd go on to put together one of the most robust and unstoppable post-scoring arsenals in NBA history, I think it's safe to say this discussion might have gone a long way. The story behind this picture, though, is so much more than just one star mentoring another. This iconic moment came after a head-to-head duel between the present and the future. Two of the greatest players to ever step foot on a court butting heads at vastly different points in their careers, signifying a passing of the torch.
7 seasons later, there is a new kid on the block, Kobe Bryant. Some call him the heir apparent. The 19-year-old is the future of a rebuilt Laker lineup equipped to end the Bulls' championship run.
Heading into this game, the Lakers had been playing for extended time without their number one guy, Shaq. Yet still they'd been an offensive powerhouse running through the competition. On the other side, Chicago was without Scottie Pippen, so this looked to be a box office matchup. Remember, it wasn't until year 3 that Kobe became a starter, so while he was patiently waiting for his opportunity to make a difference off the bench, it was Eddie Jones who had the Michael Jordan assignment.
21% shooting by the Lakers, who had missed 11 in a row before that slam by Eldon Campbell. Great move by Jordan, and he scores. That was a classic. 19-9, Chicago. Jordan, great move inside, and Michael Jordan teaching Eddie Jones.
And they are getting a shot off within 3 to 4 seconds.
And Jordan is fouled by Eddie Jones.
It wasn't just scoring, but MJ was completely dominating Eddie on both ends of the floor. Here Jones is going to look to hesitate into a pull-up jumper, but that doesn't make it over the supersized hands of Mike. This time it starts away from the ball, Jordan chasing Eddie through a couple screens that don't lead to anything, the possession resetting into nothing. With MJ keeping their leading scorer in a jail cell, no Shaq, and Kobe on the bench, the Lakers' offense was struggling to say the least. After hitting their first 2 shots, they missed 9 straight as the Bulls jumped out on a 14-2 run. And to stop the bleeding, in came Kobe Bryant. Right away, MJ started guarding Kobe, and the first thing I noticed was how much he moved away from the ball, just constantly buzzing around the court, almost like a hummingbird, which I think threw Mike off. Take this play for example. MJ picks up Kobe away from the ball on the left wing as the Lakers look to set up a little pinch post offense through their big, and as soon as the initial entry is made, Kobe explodes on a backdoor cut for some easy offense at the rim. This time, instead of cutting towards the basket, he's going to start under it and use a pin down screen to dart out. MJ's able to close the space, but as we all know, Bryant's got no problem just shooting right over. On the other side of things, it wasn't until Eddie Jones checked out with about 4 minutes left in the first that Kobe first matched up with Mike. It started with Chicago clearing a side of the lane for a post-up, where Jordan throws a little shimmy to set up a post fade over his left shoulder that creates a decent amount of space, but just rims out. And next time down, we got a glimpse of what it looks like when the master teaches the student. First driving right, then pulling back into an up fake to get Kobe off his feet, which ends in a trip to the line. Jordan would finish the first quarter having made an immediate statement. This was still his league. To start the second, Kobe spent some time out there with Mike on the bench, and in these minutes he was relatively quiet, although he did knock down this spot up 3, and we also got a crude angle of a baseline action that set him up for an off-ball jumper over Ron Harper. It wasn't until about 7 minutes left in the half that Jordan would check back into the game, but that was directly after Kobe picked up a third foul, so that meant they'd play the remainder of the half with Bryant anxiously watching. LA's other star wing Eddie Jones was also in foul trouble, so that meant the Lakers were left with one of Rick Fox, Robert Horry, or Nick Van Exel defending Michael Jordan.
Well, the Bulls bench coming alive. Here is Michael Jordan finally over Ori hits. Michael Jordan.
30% in threes and only 68% on the line.
Jordan is fouled. And talk about the free throw shooting.
If you don't play hard for 48 minutes.
Jordan with a move to the baseline and a foul against Rick Fox.
Come halftime, this game wasn't too competitive. The Bulls led by 16 behind MJ's 21 points, while Kobe had scored just 9 in about 10 minutes of play. And to start the third, he was again on the bench. But it was made abundantly clear early on that if the Lakers wanted any chance at keeping this game within reach, he'd have to be on the floor. So with about 8 minutes left in quarter number 3, down by 24, he made his return to the game, and for the first time he and Mike were matched up with each other on both ends, finally giving us the head-to-head duel.
Time in the matchups are there.
Kobe Bryant is guarded by Michael Jordan, and the fall away by Kobe Bryant. That's the future, and even Michael Jordan will tell you that Kobe Bryant, the future of the NBA, you're looking at the present and the future of 20-point Bulls lead.
Michael was all over him that time, right in his face.
And Jordan with a move to the basket. We got a little show going on here. You know, Kobe Bryant's 19 at the same age. Michael Jordan was a sophomore at the University of North Carolina. And Bryant missing from outside. And they took a 5-0 lead, and that was it for them. Kobe Bryant fouled by Jordan, and he'll go to the line. Jordan guarded by Kobe Bryant. See what he does against the youngster. Off balance, missed the tip. Rodman almost tipped it. Here's Jason Caffey making his first appearance in the game. Jordan's fall away against Bryant misses one.
50 points a game.
Kobe Bryant up and under and fouled by Luke Longley. Love the way the Bulls have not given an inch, even with their big lead most of the game. Jordan tried to get an offensive player before he came to Chicago. Kind of regained that again, and an offensive foul. 4 personal fouls on Michael Jordan, who has 32 points in the game. Many of them from the free throw strike. Kobe Bryant with a fall away.
For every minute that we have played here this evening, but this is how they play defense most nights.
Michael Jordan gets 2 more, 34 for Jordan, and the Bulls playing on both ends of this.
While they both got the better of each other multiple times, it was clear that Kobe was just too much for anyone else who tried to match up with him. Here it's 6'2" Randy Brown, and he has no trouble backing his way in close for an acrobatic finish through contact. And when it was the sturdier Ron Harper, Kobe's burst became the problem, getting right by him on a drive that led to a pair of free throws. It was also clear that Kobe's speed was too much for the older Chicago team to keep up with, getting out and running in transition as much as possible, this time actually getting met at the rim and going up and under for a reverse lay. When MJ checked out of the fourth, the win was already secured, and although you could label these extra minutes as garbage time, young Kobe made sure to steal the show and put on a last-minute clinic for the fans.
For 36 points, Luke Longley also on the bench after establishing a career high of 23. Kobe Bryant turn it over to the Lakers, and here's Bryant. Wow! Let's get the slam dunk back into the All-Star game after that one, huh? First points of the game for Joe Klein. Kobe Bryant fires and hits a 3 by Bryant.
Despite losing the game by 21 points, Kobe ended with a neutral in the plus-minus column, and it's not like that was juiced by garbage time either, as he was just a -5 in the first half, +5 in the second. It was that time he spent in foul trouble that really left the Lakers in the gutter, as they just simply couldn't keep up without him. With that said though, who was it that won the individual battle between the two? Jordan ended up playing about 5.5 more minutes than Kobe, so naturally he was able to get up more shots, resulting in more points. But what you'll also notice is that Bryant was slightly more efficient and didn't turn the ball over a single time. Now, these numbers do a good job of encompassing the entire performance, but they don't really tell us much about the success each had when actually defending each other. So in going back and watching this game, just for fun I decided to track the matchup data when they were actually guarding each other. Thankfully for sample size purposes, they both defended each other for exactly 19 possessions, making the comparison a lot easier. In that time, Kobe was a touch more aggressive, taking more shots and getting to the line for 2 more free throws, and because they had virtually the exact same scoring efficiency, that meant 3 more points. Another big piece to the puzzle is their playmaking. Neither assisted on a single shot with the other on them, but Kobe was able to force Mike into 4 turnovers in just those 19 possessions, which is a pretty obscene rate. As a result, Chicago's offense was a complete disaster in this short time, scoring just under 53 points per 100 possessions, nearly half of what the Lakers did. Say what you want about the Bulls taking this game and Jordan leading in scoring, but I'd raise the argument that Kobe actually got the better of him in this individual matchup. So, theoretically speaking, one could label this as a passing of the torch, marking the beginning of a new era, as Kobe would walk in the path that Jordan paved before embarking on a legendary legacy of his own. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you thought of this moment. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.